I'm writing a collection of short stories right now. I've already written a couple of them, and I've got a couple of more that I'm going to write before I make them a collection, a compilation of short stories, which are all centered around one common theme. The theme is going to be the theme of a woman in a man's life as a honeypot. That the notion of a woman showing up in a man's life and there being something inauthentic about her presence. There being something contrived and manufactured about her presence. There being something artificial about her presence in their lives. And I think that I moved to write about this topic because it's something that it's a phenomenon that I've shared before. There's a sense especially when you're online, when everything is anonymous, it heightens this whole sense that nobody is who they really seem to be, and or that there's no way of knowing if anybody is who they seem to be. Judging by my own experience, I know I have actually met people whom I've met people in meet space, as they say, that I first met online who do turn out to be exactly what they claim to be. But there's no way of knowing. And I think that men know today that unless they are, billionaires and movie gods and rock stars, like Tyler Durden says in Fight Club, I think you just said millionaires and movie gods and rock stars. Billionaires too, though. They would count as well in this group. If a man isn't any of those things, that he's fighting an uphill struggle if he's looking for companionship, if he's looking for a meaningful relationship. The odds are not in his favor, and so he also is aware that because of this, there are plenty of entities who manifest themselves online, whether they're bots, whether they're actual real people, pretending to be somebody else, whether it's a 58-year-old man in Indonesia who's pretending to be this hot young model that's in the avatar, or whether it's actually a female, but she's not. But she's got an agenda. She's not who she's pretending to be. She's pretending to be into you, but these are for her own purposes. Whatever those might be, you pick it. Pick the scenario. Maybe it's a political scenario, maybe she's a spook. And this is very much a possibility when you're somebody who is, or who has been affiliated with, or who is simply rumored to be affiliated with, whether he is or not, some some hated or feared or loathed political group or social cultural group. So, like the alt-right, for example, alt-right in quotation marks, but not necessarily limited to it by any means. But maybe that's the reason why the honeypot manifests herself, or maybe she manifests herself for some other reason that isn't related to politics or culture or intelligence organizations, but is maybe just somebody out there who wants to drain your resources, But that sort of raises the entire question, like when is love actually love? Is it ever really love? When you've been with somebody and they've ceased to love you, you're always going to be scarred afterwards. You're always going to think to yourself afterwards. There's it seemed like it was real. It seemed like it was authentic before, but now, but then it ended on her part. So, these other anyone else out there who claims interest in me, what's your angle? That's what this sort of man is moved to wonder about. So I feel this is an issue that needs to be addressed. And in these stories that I'm writing, there's no easy answer. It's not as though in every case, the supposed honeypot or honey trap, whatever, honey something. It's not like we know for sure that she's not for real. But you got to go where the story takes you, wherever that is. I do remember once thinking, you're on the internet. There are no females on the internet. anyone who approaches you saying that she's a female, it can't really be a female. You do get kind of paranoid, but I mean, you'd be very stupid not to be suspicious of people who claim interest in you, people who it's just a very hard thing to believe, to buy into, and as I've said before, a man wants to be wanted, and that's a very vulnerable thing. Somebody who can play on that, can play on his desire to be validated, is playing on this very deep-seated desire on his part, because it's a part of how we were made. We were what we want to be. We want to be not just loved, but appreciated and thought well of by the important people in our lives. And in a healthy culture, there would be nothing wrong with that, but we don't have a healthy culture. And in our unhealthy culture, this drive to want to be validated, to want companionship, and so forth. This drive is very often exploited, and men are are quite often taken for suckers and then humiliated and so I better go to bed. I'm getting tired, but I wanted to talk about this before I went to sleep. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.